And scene transition. You're back out the other side and coming down to a familiar depot, from which you can see the dead Barudia strung up by the wrists on a post.
Oh my god.
That's good.
Lawbringer gear removed and set below her, although already well bloodied from the comeuppance that could not be saved for after the dressing down.
Sorry, I'm so busy trying to find this other place for the stone. I cannot.
Sounds like
think
someone
until I
needs
find
color
it.
coordination in their notes.
I'm about to.
It was Karafu, wasn't it?
You got a couple options. Actually, I guess I know it. I was just leaving you to do it. Stone leaf can be found in Hasara or Karafu.
Can I do a general lore check to see which one of those might be less problematic in terms of like the people, fauna, anything like that?
Sure, if you want to roll strictly on. I guess I don't have to give you the full brief on either so much as the trouble about them.
Yeah. I mean, I've been well traveled, so let's see what I know about it.
Alright, pretty standard.
Yep.
Let me pull up so I can cite from my notes, so I can give a...
I'll do a context too, just in case it's something that you can work with. Otherwise, I don't know anything. Haven't heard anything. It's a
Also gonna do a context just based on when I was roaming, what I knew of like the conflicts in the areas to be. Jesus Christ! I guess I didn't get out here that much. I'm gonna stop rolling tonight.
Oh.
Just don't do it.
I had that one deceive roll, and then the rest have been shit.
Arya, as you think about it, you realize what you're thinking about. Amunpax is such a constantly shifting and fast-moving continent or country that it's whatever you would have remembered. You haven't been in contact with anyone recently enough to helpfully inform this. Like there's that whole mercenary war that's going on. You would have had no idea about.
Yeah.
So, the Hasara is a land of many great stone bridges, and civilization lines the sides of the streets of the bridges. It's kind of an entire region dedicated to transit, but with people still inhabiting it, living on the sidelines of it. So, a lot of merchants, but also a lot of opportunity for bandits and highwaymen. Kind of less so toward the north end, given it's adjacent to the territory holding Lawbringer HQ. But once it gets to the darker parts as you go south to Aswan Ruin, there is room for people to get in the way and take advantage of the distance.
Okay.
But, sometimes it's about the lucky odds of being under an umbrella, like will the rain happen to hit you or the person in front of you? There's so much transit, one never knows. Karafu, in terms of trouble, you could say it's pretty peaceful, actually. It is a necropolis. The entire region is a necropolis. It's the only place that bodies go on Amunpax. It is the necropolis for the country. Many convoys are dedicated to just transporting mass corpses down there to be stored in the City of the Dead. They appear to find something sacred about it since the old days, and so it remains a tradition to today.
Okay.
But your contacts for they give you for both. So let's see. I guess I'll say with contacts, you talk to lawbringers like here.
Sure.
They're your contacts. You're
Yeah.
friends with the teachers. And they tell you about some civil unrest brewing in Hasara after the lawbringers executed a particularly brutal beating upon a village boy for a crime that did not necessarily necessitate death. but they beat him so bad that he passed away soon after, and now there's kind of a civil conflict brewing. But in Karafu, the guard kind of, a little embarrassed admittedly, talks about the fact that the gravekeepers seem to be reporting that they see the dead walk around there.
Huh.
He dismisses it as ghost stories, but tells you nonetheless that's what he's heard.
Okay, fair enough. The question becomes, do we travel all the way south and try to do that, or do we just go to Sora and then take the boat? That seems like the easier. It's out of character, obviously, but I don't know if anyone has opinion based on the information we have.
You can do it in character. Does Moat share this?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I guess we're traveling, right? So.
Are you guys hitting
as
the road
we-
and talking about it?
Yeah, at least to get to Sequoia, because we're gonna have to make a decision to go left or right. So
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and do that. And considering his options, he will present the two to them and say, "I don't expect we'll be welcomed in Hisara, but it would be less of a journey back once we have the stones. This business with the dead walking, as ridiculous as it sounds, might warrant investigation."
Arya will immediately chime in. Oh, we absolutely have to investigate the Walking Dead.
Canary will say, how much extra time this is going to take?
Declan, between the two paths, with my lore roll of 4.
Karafu is certainly got to be 2 weeks plus to any estimate you could give to Hisara, whatever the trouble.
Okay, then he will say 2 weeks both ways. Maybe more time than we can afford, given what business we've already had.
And so Canary will shake her head and she'll say, we are already so far behind. Says, we haven't even been able to travel into one spire, let alone find out where else she has been. We are so far off her trail. Says, we can't afford an extra 2 weeks when we could go somewhere much faster and get the same stone.
And it might do good to show the presence of the Empire. A fair, just hand.
Arya will roll her head over to Ostrich and she'll say, well, I know the Knight wants to know what's going on with the ghosts.
She'll say, this isn't a majority vote.
That's okay, because it's not a majority, it's a tie.
We cannot afford an extra 2 weeks' time. End of story.
I do want to know about the ghosts. I kind of do too, Canara. I'm sorry. It's 3-1.
Arya will she'll look back to Canara and she'll say, well, it's not just curiosity. If these sightings hold true, it could have something to do with the magical energy surrounding the spire.
We already have one mystery this far north, and can we really risk 2 extra weeks on a rumor?
Canara's eyes are bugging out like a chameleon, like, why are we even having this conversation?
Ostrich, who I presume is the person who drives your carriage whenever you're scooting around a Moonpox. Ostrich, do you always want to make it Ludwig, or do you accept a horse that will be graciously offered to you by the Lawbringers in Sokalia?
No, I mean, he's figuring Ludwig is resting anyway right now. So.
Okay. All right, you guys have a horse for now.
Horse.
It's not as cool as Ludwig. It's not as gory in any way, but it is a horse.
That horse can always become a horse, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, we've got like a free Ludwig spawn.
You feeling tired, horse? There's always another
How
person.
tired?
Yeah, I want to replace you.
Exactly, actually.
It's a horse world out there, horse.
Yeah.
It's a horse become horse world. But you see a figure just standing in the middle of the road. You're kind of, let's see, you're probably approaching somewhere in the middle here as you're deciding. And you are on a jungle road between civilizations right now. And somebody is just standing there and looking directly at you. It's a hooded figure
Steph.
holding a staff behind them.
In the middle of the road where I'm driving.
Yeah, they're deliberately in your way.
My God, it's Scorpion.
Yep.
Get over here.
Thanks, Kane.
Did we already drop off everybody else? Or are they with us still?
I guess I forgot to go over that.
That's important. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to just step it back. Oh, fuck, I do have to, though.
No, it's fine. Yeah, what do you want to do?
Ignore that this happens. Travel back in time. Seeing this figure in the middle of the road really makes you reflect on how you said goodbye to Volkea. We flash back. God damn it. Okay, so you're back up like near the depot. Some lawbringers are looking over you and getting your all this talk about the carriage and your horse makes me think about how you got that stuff. Let's take a look at that. You're there. All of you have stepped out of your transport carriage. Hoyt is stretching and rubbing his face. Alleged has elected to sit nearby. She's kind of mending herself. And Volkaya is speaking with some lawbringers, although she looks very wearied.
Okay. We should probably say bye to Volkaya, so I will. As much as I hate it, because she's gonna bitch me out, I'm gonna go do that.
She is gonna be mean to you, yeah.
That's fine. I earned it. I will approach her. Maybe she can help us sequester some horses too, so I'll do that. Prefect.
Yes, Moats.
We'll be leaving soon, but we require horses. A carriage, if you could spare it.
She looks around and says, "It's not mine to spare, but I'm sure Ramses, out of the goodness of his heart, has proffered you some for your journey."
Oh. Well, I'm glad to hear it. It'll be a long walk otherwise. Feeling a bit awkward by that, he'll look down and say...
Hang on, I was distracted. She's going to say, "Yes, wouldn't want you to tarry on your journey to trespass upon the forbidden old walls, would we?" She'll look between all of you.
Sorry. 1 second. She will look up and say, "Our mission was given to us, as is yours, and it demands the respect that it was given. Thury knows what company we keep. Thury understands the goals of these missions, and I will see them through. And I know that your report will be thorough, and I welcome that. If you're not held accountable, then rebellion will take its root even within us."
She glances over to Arya and says, "If you're looking for routes to take, I think you're a bit late on that one, Thane."
He will turn towards Arya and say, "She delivered 6 rebels herself. 6 fleeing rebels that would have assaulted us from behind. I have more faith in her than that, but yes, faith is not good if it is put in the back of... faith unbacked by skill or motivation cannot stand. I will keep an eye on her, as will the Saint."
She will look
She's
to
eager
the
to.
Saint at your mention and say, "I wonder if this is the same faith he previously placed in Kohan. You are the expert of faith, and you have most certainly reinstated mine. What say you?"
There is a reason I rarely get any sleep.
Nice.
Yeah, fuck these guys.
Understand, Prefect, that I do not take this situation lightly. However, she was appointed to us by, what's that fuckboy's name?
Josh.
Josh. By Josh himself.
Tunon.
Tunon. I was trying to say Triblin, and I'm like, that's not his name. She'll say, Bioadjudicator 2 non himself.
No.
Canara meows. Finishes out her
Volkaya
statement.
meows in
Narrator
response.
Very
does giant
cute.
Neko pause.
Aw.
Off camera.
She'll just sort of be quieted at that and look between you and say, I will be, once I am well enough to return to judicature, investigating this rationale thoroughly, so I may come to my own understanding.
Canara say, well, when you do understand, I would be very interested to hear your findings, because I still don't understand it.
Arya will chime in and say, I don't think it takes much to understand that magic conducted for the advancement of the Empire is not treason. She'll say, and without it, you'd be down not 1 but 2 bridges.
Moats is just keeping an eye on her, just kind of like even keel.
Don't make fun of me in front of my girlfriend.
But it's like, just keeping an even eye on her and allowing that to stand.
Volkaya will stare at Arya for a solid minute at that and say, I imagine the only reason your tongue hasn't been taken is that communication of your illicit arts is important to this missive.
She will nod and say, I need it to cast my spells.
She'll get a little loud and say, you need it for something far more important than that, or Tunon himself would have plucked it.
Recognizing at the increase in volume that she might be at the end of this woman's patience, Arya will just kind of just give her the slightest narrow of her eyes and she won't respond.
And then, God, fucking dick DMing, but this is the character. She'll say, that's right. And then sharply snap to Moats and say, I am appreciative of the Overlord's intervention that finally ended my captivity. Yes, I'm happy with that rendition of that thought. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Immediately swanning off from her side, Melegia will firmly, she's gonna try to full-on hug Canara.
No.
Canara does that, like, thing where she, like, grabs her wrist and twists her around and shoves her into the dirt. No, Canara will again, like, not, like, say no. She just kind of stands there. She's being embraced, and she will then kind of firmly grab the woman by the shoulder and, push her back just so they're talking distance. Wow, I'm not okay tonight. Apparently I took an Ambien.
Gotta hit that cider.
Oh, wow.
But after what she deems is an appropriate amount of embrace time, she'll kind of move the woman back just an arm's length away, still holding her shoulder with that a little bit too tight grip is the way that Canara tends to be, and she'll say, what is your missive from here on out, Saint?
You might consider me AWOL because I'm going to fly back to the Grand Cathedral as quickly as possible, seek the guidance of the Archbishop, and meditate on the things I've encountered here. But I will be back out preaching the good word to those who clearly need it soon.
I believe this is a wise course of action. The Archbishop will be able to guide you, as well as Exosa's light. Take ample time for your meditation.
She'll nod.
I hope it brings you enlightenment, she'll say.
She'll nod and brush Moats fondly on the arm like a doting mother figure does. Go. I know, it's difficult for me to do, but it's a character. Nod at him and say prefect, and then she'll start moving to touch Ostrich, but then she's going to flash back to Ludwig, and she's just going to painedly smile and nod and say, thank you. Arya gets nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured.
Um,
Ostrich nods.
Baron Stuart Hoyt will start to walk up, but then see Ostrich himself as well, and he'll like stagger back and say, hey, y'all are treated to a free rest down in Prescott's Rest anytime. I serve under Jackson Maywell, Viscount, so in case y'all ever need some R&R when you're down south, come take a rest in Pleasure Town. All right, thank you. He's gonna start hustling off.
Everybody remember that area so that we can avoid it.
Another
never
man
go
named
there.
Jackson that we can forget about.
Not this one.
Jackson's Mill is the name of the thing.
Yep.
But as they're kind of going together, Maleja stops and turns and says, Saint, it's the funniest thing. I didn't know you that well, but I understood. Well, you really remind me of your mentor.
Oh, man. Canara's brain stalls as much as mine.
All right, bye. You've run out of time.
Do with that what you will, and she's on her way.
Yeah.
Canara will, probably after an noticeably inappropriate pause and maybe even a bit of a, like, lip fussing, she'll say,
She kind of starts leaving.
yeah, she'll say, have a safe journey, sister.
Ogorna said the same thing to me before I left on my...
Have a safe journey. Yeah, just like that. That's how she said it.
Just like that. You guys are so similar.
Her eyebrows will raise as if having expected more, and then just lower, and she'll smile pleasantly and turn and be on her way.
Canara will dip her head as an appropriate nod of respect and turn back toward this ragtag team of misfits.
Not to force you to ask about it, of course, but like, just so the framing is clear, because I had to sort it in my head. Agorda has been retired for the entire way longer than this woman has been a saint, and she's much younger than either of you.
Yes, I got that.
All right, cool. All right, that's not me doubling back to force you to ask, but to frame it properly. All right.
No,
Now you guys are
I
rid of them.
appreciate the reminder, but fortunately I didn't catch that one.
Scorpion, meanwhile, looks on the road, his watch in his hand.
Just,
You guys done?
You can hear the Mortal Kombat music
You guys
like, quietly ahead.
Yeah, all I want to do is create advantage in case we meet people on the road. Then we can get going.
In case we're assaulted by a Mortal Kombat
A
ninja.
rogue scorpion.
Okay. All right, we flash forward again. He says, all right, wasn't that fun?
Actually, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Wasn't that a fun flashback?
Moses' life flashing before his eyes as he's beaten to death by Scorpion.
Kidding me? Get out of here.
Alright, so Ostrich, seeing as this guy won't move, we'll just whoa on the horses, or the horse rather, and pull.
This person is going to just, once you have halted, kind of give a beat and then start sauntering over. They're going to approach, swinging their staff with their arm.
Canara's already instinctually standing up. Maybe even like she hadn't really been paying attention until the cart stopped. And then she'll kind of do that thing where she meets them by standing as well at attention on the edge of the cart.
On the edge of the fart.
Nice.
We cut that out too.
Nice. They just sort of get closer as though they've been invited, and they appear to start making move to get into the cart.
Oh, Jesus.
If somebody doesn't stop him, I'll start yelling.
Canara will say, oh,
Just
go
gonna kill
ahead.
you real quick.
Everyone speaks over each other.
Yep. Ostrix up front and Canara's there, so one of you two.
I was gonna say,
Ostrich will stand and pull his dagger out. Just, closest
Yeah.
thing he has. For...
Canara will say, halt.
They'll politely halt.
She'll say, state your business.
This is the party, right? Prefect, the saint, the knight, the illegal.
Again, I will ask you to state your business.
To meet with said party.
For what purpose?
Tell you about the danger that you're in.
Canara will swivel her head toward Moats.
Ostrich will also look back at Moats like, fucking...
Moats will turn back and he'll look at Moats in the back seat.
I'm gonna look at Inquisitus. It's like, I don't know.
Shrugs.
About this guy.
Yeah, I don't know about this guy.
Oh no. I'd do anything to think of like there would be an emissary group or anybody out here that this guy would be operating under. Like contacts.
Man, with involving contacts more, I do want to get mileage out of contacts. And this is a person.
Yeah.
Roll contacts.
That's what I was thinking too. Pretty good.
You recognize this gear. Spent enough time out here and associated. This has to be at least an elite member, somebody special in the mercenary group Aeon Newmon, which I think you remember was one of the warring mercenary factions that they mentioned. You only saw the Scarab Riders doing anything, but you know there's two sides to a war, and that Aeon is currently the other side of that here in the inner pit of Pox.
And are they the ones protecting the rights of these people? Are the water of these people, whereas the Scarab Riders are trying to tear it down?
I don't know how much research you guys did into that war.
I would say none, as we ran away from.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I would
being
say
generous
none.
about it. You fucking bailed.
Yeah. I would
No,
say
shit.
that. Okay. I will pipe up and say, he speaks with the familiarity of an Aeon Numa. And maybe he speaks truth. It's our business to sort out.
He'll chime in and say, she speaks with the authority of Aeon Newmon. Are you going to let me up?
Yes.
She climbs in, grabs the upper bar, and the weight of the carriage shifts as she just gets in a seat opposite yours.
Canara will sit back down and sort of gesture to Ostrich to keep this trucking.
Is there something in here like where they wouldn't give you their name? Is that something I would know?
No, there's nothing like that. She's just being kind of slow with details.
Well, I will speak frankly and say, well, if you're to ride with us, it's best we know your name.
Type this out in advance. Her head will lift with the exertion of speaking with a strained syllable. She'll say, Healof. Which, given your context, you recognize kind of stops you. That's the leader, the figurehead of Aeon Newmon. This is the mercenary guild number one.
The danger must be great for them to send one as prestigious as yourself.
I elected to come myself so that you would take me seriously.
I will, and I am.
Looking over her shoulder, seeing that you're still moving, she says, gonna want to take the next road south.
Why? Actually, yeah, I still need to... I literally have just been fooled once. I gotta at least ask.
Yeah.
I literally cannot do this twice. I can't.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
no,
All right.
I'm totally
we'll do
looking
it.
out for you.
She said south.
Yeah.
I will say, what waits for us in the west?
Shendo and all his cronies. They're on the lookout for you.
Okay. I'm not trying to do any damage, and I believe her, but...
This rings true.
Hmm.
Her silhouette is really sort of... You develop your own internal dialect for these. It's a very cold flame. It's very restrained and still.
And I'm sorry, what was the name of that leader again?
Shindo.
It's written down there. The other one or this one?
Shindo. Is it Shindo? I have it written elsewhere. Okay. Oh, so I am to have the attention of 2 leaders of this region.
You have this one's, it's difficult to say kindness, but guidance. The other one, I'm not sure what he's looking for you. For what? I didn't want to say looking for you for.
Yeah.
I'm not sure to what end he's seeking you out. But with the Beastmaster, it's never good.
Moats will kind of just settle back, considering the very real possibility that he's after the notebooks and the information they have.
Especially after what you all did to Ardis and his crew out there.
Is he speaking of it?
That's what my intel has caught.
You kill a leader and they seek to find your own head, I understand. I didn't think there would be anyone left to tell him who delivered. I can't remember his name, but that man.
Ardis or...
Artist. Yeah. Didn't think we left anyone.
She says, you left 10 or more. They had sent an away team, burned down the jungle, I hear.
That's right.
They returned to the ruin. Reported back to Shendo, must have been.
Was an oversight. One that's cost us by the sounds of it. And he's searching for us to the west.
That's where the riders are based, so that's where they're going to be most extensively looking. Here, as well, we'll need to travel low profile. But that's all I'm offering in terms of advice. You're going to want to take the low route. Where are you headed?
I'm going to be honest with them.
Oh boy.
Say, Karafu.
And the south route suits you just fine.
Kinera makes a disgruntled noise.
Alright, it's like bouncing
a
in
cracking of her
celebration.
knuckles.
Yeah. And he will say, and for this kindness, you do not expect anything in return. Or anything in particular.
She'll lean back and rest her staff in her lap and straighten her back and say, presumptive of you to state it that way, but no. We have a contract with the lawbringers out here to bring in insurgent heads. And I know that a servant of Exosa remembers a good turn when they get one. So I expect your memory to hold fast when matters come to Aeon Numan, especially versus the riders.
We do not favor the riders. Your favor will be bought, or has been bought.
She'll just tap the staff down to the bottom of the carriage then, almost like a gavel, and say, then my mission is complete. My advice to you is local. Travel the Hems. The Scarab Riders are many, and they are all alerted for you. They have the locals cooperating as well, threatening them to feed them intel, or else. So, rest assured, your face being seen is news that's been spread around Sakalia at least, and infecting the surrounding regions.
She said her favor was done, but I will ask regardless. Are there any we could depend on farther south? Those like yourself?
Let's see. She says, Currently, the majority of my numbers are based in Akur. That's how I was able to intercept you readily. We're stationed there as a result of the current proxy war.
I will safely pass through you and continue south, I understand. You've done more than enough.
She'll nod and say, "Don't know what your business is exactly, but I know it's keeping you in Amun Pax for the moment. And that means you're going to be on Shendo's radar." That's not a thing that exists.
Shindo's list, whatever.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. He will nod and say, "We'll keep away from the towns best we can. Maybe I will dress in something a little less garish."
Not seeming to care, she's already standing up and stepping out of the moving carriage.
Fair enough.
She lands as if carrying almost no momentum from the ride, and just as soon as she hits ground is walking like a buggy NPC walk cycle.
I'm gonna turn and watch her as the flame disappears and we ride further. And then turning to Canera, because I immediately know that she's not going to be happy about this.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Canara is not happy now.
I will turn towards her and say, "She is a trusted authority. If she says that we are to go south, it is in our interest to do so."
I do believe it is in your interest, Prefect. I'm not afraid of a few insurgents. Yeah, chill in there.
We are not speaking of insurgents. We are speaking of Shindo, a man deserving of your fear and our respect. Well, respect, no. Fear, yes, quite.
You cannot see the eyebrow perk that I do.
He will say,
But you hear the pungent pause as...
"There are 4 of us, 3 capable fighters. I'm humble enough to admit that. Against an army of scarab riders. We are outnumbered, even with the assistance of the... I was about to say fucking Dawn Guard, Jesus.
Throwback.
Yeah, wow. What is this group called?
Aeon. Hang on.
Aeon Newman and the men in the black outfits that we've worked with.
The Men in Black, yeah.
The men in black. With the local assistance.
Can I all say, we get the stone as quickly as possible and we turn around. We do not have time to investigate silly local rumors.
Of course. They're rumors. And he'll just say, "We are chasing after a arbiter, not rumors, I understand."
Say, at times, Prefect, I'm not sure you do.
Take your nap, Canera. Go to bed.
My best friend Volkaya was right about you.
We're girlfriends now. We're gonna go out and get brunch later.
Moats' face is set. The decision is made and seems resigned to it.
Get her.
So, yeah.
Kara will resume her her brooding over the side of the carriage.
All right. You guys take well, I guess it's all up to Ostrich. What if all that was said and he just took the road west without consulting anyone?
I mean, that's
My boy.
You just feel the fucking carriage get hit in the side, pincered by a beetle.
My favorite part of that is I'm the only person who wouldn't know. And like literally everyone else could know that.
No one says anything.
Yeah.
But presumably you take the roads south and you ride through more darkened jungle You take your rest at the designated rest stops, little outposts at the side of the road with complimentary fires and cots.
Vending machines. Yeah.
Vending machines.
Not going down.
You kind of got to shake one to get it out. Moats can't
Yeah,
see what he's ordering.
I'll get a bit of honey that'll knock it down.
And you pass the border into Akur. What's the brief that I give about this? Where is it? There's too many notes.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too, and I can only imagine how you're doing.
There's too many modes.
Too many modes.
Too many modes.
Takes a lot too.
This one, it looks like kind of a smaller, grungier, distilled Sakalia. It says you pass from the forest into main civilization. You pass by the main inland port. Akur is also a port town, although more for personal passengers and more discreet items from the motherland of Exos. And so you see people dressed in foreign garb here and there. And oh!
Jesus Christ.
Here comes Canara.
Yeah.
Transporting more specific fineries and smaller amounts of cargo.
I want us to procure clothes here. I think that it's better we don't stand out right now.
Okay.
So to that
I'm not fucking taking off my armor.
You gotta take off your armor.
I mean, you can like put some clothes on it, like 2 sweaters, each on each shoulder, one on each shoulder. It'll be fine. What would you like for us to do in that regard, Declan? Like, what would we go about? How would we go about doing that?
I guess like contacts to see if you can find or I guess an investigate. Either or.
Okay. Just someone want to help. Or, Ostrich, what's your investigate?
It is 3.
You want to add a 1? You want to roll? I'll help you.
Okay.
I'm not Moats. I don't know about that. You can't see anything.
Oh.
You guys are like looking around.
Well, I'll still give him a +0.
Okay.
Hey,
you can do
just
that.
Add that +0.
Add 0 to
Okay.
that.
Make sure you add 0 to that.
Was that with or without the 0?
See? See?
Damn, Moats really helped out.
Yep.
Well, geez, Ostrich is like driving along, and he just sort of looks left and sees a big like signage for a tailor. With what man are you looking? See a Cole's sign. What manner of dress are you looking for in particular? Because you could find here some special fineries from Exos. If you want to not stand out, you can wear completely foreign clothes.
Yeah, that helps. Different kind of.
I don't know. Some fucking rundown thrift shop.
Honestly, yes. I was thinking thrift shop level shit too.
Yeah, okay. You find...
Consignment shop.
Yeah.
You locate the most nondescript one. You see the biggest one, and so near to it, you know what you're not looking for, so you look for the most nondescript one that probably has hand-me-downs and leftovers and such. Real scrap trader.
Mm-hmm.
You can find some perfectly generic shit here.
Alright,
Question.
I'll park out front.
For my sake, is it like would I wear sort of my uniform as also a respect to like being a saint and what I do?
Probably. There's a whole lot of, the Forgiven are very militaristic, and so kind of
Right.
showing your colors in that way.
Sorry, I'm about to be very difficult.
I love it.
I
I love
give
it.
a
Aria's
fate
just gonna put her other
point.
clothes back on.
On your
Yeah.
what's the one related to being a forgiven?
My
You're 5?
high
No, you're
or
5.
5.
I'll give a compel related to that you refuse to do this.
Yeah, we pull up and Kara says, I am not changing my attire.
Usually Arya's the one who's difficult.
Arya's like, yeah, I'm excited to try on new clothes.
Arya is not a forgiven soldier, and not one with repute. This is my livelihood, and this is how I serve Exosa. Says, I will not make a mockery of the Archbishop or the saints.
I'm gonna compel Ostrich to have the same stance off of his, I guess, trouble.
I was about to say
I
that.
do not want to see what's underneath.
Ostrich.
My number 5 actually probably works better too.
Really? Yeah, sure. I'll get use out of that. Well, I guess it flavors which one you want to do. I was compelling you off of, like, your life is to wear this armor and show everyone you are a thrall.
Oh yeah, I mean he wasn't gonna.
I never expected that.
Yeah, he Ostrich 2 will just sit there at the front of the carriage and he'll just say, I'll be out here when y'all's done.
Nice.
You can argue with Canera, but you're not going to argue with Ostrich.
No. Hell no. Ostrich can do what he wants. He will do what he wants.
Canera's like, why are you not asking Ostrich?
I'm afraid of Ostrich. Have I not made that clear?
He can do what he wants.
Might pants me in the middle of the night.
When no one is watching, I don't want him to pants me.
My perspective.
Motes will just kind of steady his eyes at her and say, well, when we meet Shindo, you'll be ready. Song, come.
She looks at him like confused as if that's supposed to be a threat. She's
It's
like,
not.
that was my preferable outcome.
Arya, as they start to walk, is going to say, if they're not going to partake, we're going to have to come up with something good as to why 2 civilians are walking around with a forgiven, or a
Saint.
A southerner and a saint.
He will look at her and say, are you up to that challenge?
She says, I'm sure while we're shopping I can concoct something.
I imagine this will be a long trip. And just kind of like relying on her to help.
Yeah, I feel like she'll probably guide him among the shops. Maybe even I don't know. We don't have to necessarily do this in character. Asking like what he prefers, and like kind of having a little too much fun dressing Motes.
Oh my gosh.
It's a montage.
Yeah, it's literally one of those shopping montages.
This place is not some fancy tailor in Kima. That was good, Dave. This doesn't have all the fluff of a tailor in Kima. It's a thrift shop. You're left to thumb around the textiles. There's just someone watching to make sure you don't run away with a stolen item, shoot you in the ass with a crossbow.
Sure. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And so you're just allowed to roam and find the most nondescript things you can.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just pull elements apart. Try to look as nondescript as possible. Relying on her to guide me correctly. And I will bring like an extra 2 pair because we always seem to end up in fights. And I can't keep doing this every time we get into a conflict.
All right. As you guys are picking through the items and Ostrich, you're just kind of surveying the area. There's this thrumming in the heads of Arya and Ostrich, the both of you.
I love the shot of like Ostrich's in the front and Canera's in the back, just kind of like squinting into space as this is happening.
She's blurry.
Yeah.
Arya, there's a pounding in your head. Ostrich, you as well. It's as though it's this pounding just behind your eyes, this pressure, as though you were starving for blood, but it's something else. Trying to get this sound effect, but it just won't. All right, that doesn't exist. I better get rid of this.
Just for clarity, do you mean Arya or do you mean Canera?
I mean Arya.
Okay.
And you can hear, you're not that close to water, but you can hear the sloshing of the sea. And you can tell that it's like not anywhere nearby. You can tell that it's something in your imagination, but something more visceral and real than you're capable of imagining. And you kind of can't focus on walking. You have to steady yourself on a table, and you can't even see where you're going.
This is in the middle of picking things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine Arya kind of stops mid-sentence, just sort of, not that Moats can see, but lowers like the stuffy jacket that she had grabbed onto, and almost tries to trace where the sound is coming from.
Yeah, Ostrich will look around over his shoulder.
And then, as though next to you, you can hear, "So, what do you think it is they did?" And then, as you kind of turn to try and focus on this voice, you turn into a vision that is not where you were previously. You are on a large, like, many-passenger boat. It's kind of like a train carriage, but like a tugboat, in the middle of some grand sea. That you can try to identify with a lore. There might be some features you recognize.
It's about
Wow,
right for
Arya.
tonight. Yeah, I can't. I can't.
Holy shit.
I'm so angry.
It's +1.
Magic, huh? Well,
Ostrich, this
Oh,
looks
God.
like the Eastern Sea. He's got it now.
Yeah, look at this. Wow.
Very clean.
Oh my lord. All right.
Okay,
all
stop,
right,
stop,
all right,
stop.
All right.
Stop.
Look at what would have
Yeah, stop
happened. Jesus, sorry. Describe what Ostrich hears. Arya's fucking biting her
Drowning.
toenails.
And you see a young woman with very straight auburn hair, very neatly brushed down the side of her head. She's wearing some kind of mantled cloak, and he is wearing garments similar. Both are kind of emerald turquoise in color and have many fine adornments. And the man turns with his mussy black hair and scarred face. Says, "Did you hear me?" "What?" The woman is reading. "I said, Inquisitor Dyer, what do you think they did?" "I think the point is that we don't know yet, Leary." "Sure, but, I mean, it's gotta be bad, right?" "Yes, obviously it's bad." "Do you think we'll have to kill him?" "I think they would use the hangman if we had to kill them. We just have to clean up." "Yeah. Still fun." "What was that?" "I just closed a door very loudly, Leary. That's all." He looks out again. He appears to be impatient. He's tapping his leg. And she says, "We have a long ride ahead of us before we reach Sakalia. If you need to exercise some of this energy, you have to do it away from me. I'm trying to read." "Sorry, just big mission. Must be important for the headmaster." "Yes, so try not to get ahead of yourself on this one." And then as they continue talking, you can feel yourself as though waking from a dream, being pulled away from this, and even if you try to hang on, Much like in a dream, the harder you try, the faster you wake up. And like that, you are back at the market stall and back in the carriage. And the sound of the ocean is gone.
Ostrich will look back at Canera to see if she registered anything of what he just heard.
She is quite literally watching out the side of the carriage, really paying you no mind, Ostrich, but you can tell she's deep in thought. Like she's got a million-mile stare, but she doesn't seem phased at all.
He'll turn back around forward and just kind of slump there.
Oh man. And back in the market stall.
Arya, who probably hasn't been speaking for several minutes, kind of comes to and looks over to Moats.
He's been saying your name. Just kind of like has whatever packages to his side. And just kind of like bringing
Arya?
his head to you.
Arya.
Arya has this look on me,
Arya.
just a polka dot blouse.
And then he snaps, and then you come back or something.
And she'll kind of like dry mouthed come into it and say, "Did you see that?"
You should have let Miladia see you.
She'll put a hand over her where was she? Her hip, and she'll say, "No, I don't think that's it. I saw and heard things."
What things? Did Hero speak to you?
She
He's
said,
kind of like, go
No.
ahead.
She
No.
chimes in. No.
No. We don't talk. We don't talk that much.
That much.
She'll say, "No, not Eros. This was." Did they? I'd imagine Inquisitor. They were Exosa.
Roll
Let's
lore on their
see.
garments. It, especially given that you're here, it looks like they were dressed similarly to basically no one from this continent. Those looked like Exos homeland dress clothes.
Okay. She'll say, "I believe they were native of Exos. Inquisitor Dyer, Leary. Do those names mean anything to you? You really didn't see it?"
Can I roll lore to know what those people are all about?
You can
Declan?
roll, yeah.
Or
Yes, roll
contacts.
lore on for information on that title and contacts on these people.
Wow.
Oof. I don't know them, but I know about them, maybe.
One who inquisits.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know the name.
Arya can as well. And I guess another lore on this fucking
Yeah.
subject matter.
There you go.
So-
Finally.
Yeah, they kill your people.
Neither of you would even close to know who Dyer or Leary are.
Okay, that's fine.
But Ostrich, I know this isn't gonna go anywhere. But you give me a lore shot just so we know. Shouldn't even fucking
Weird.
bothered. Okay. Gosh, with 2 5s, I'm gonna invite you guys into the other room. You don't have to speak. It's not an interaction here, but so I can tell you.
Okay.
Inquisitor. That title. You don't have to unmute. Oh, this isn't going right. Okay. Inquisitor. That is somebody who serves under the Tribune of Order, Headmaster Koto'ore. Gosh, with your guys' level of knowledge, the Inquisitors are dedicated to excising information from public consciousness. And you know the way they do it is forcible. It's not just through a careful method of, misinformation and assassinations. They have a method of excising information from the mind. And it is part of the reason nobody knows, or to your knowledge knows, what the name of the old forgiven god was. You both know with fives, they swept over the continent of Mother Terra over 100 years ago to personally excise the existence of a previous god from the public consciousness. At least the specific name. Everyone knows there was one, but this helped uphold that there would be no mention of one but Exosa.
Well, he can't say anything, but I'll say fuck.
I can say whatever the fuck I want, asshole.
I don't like the
Whoa.
swearing. I'm going to go back in the other room. I don't like swearing.
Alright.
All right. And all they want to do is give us a juicy fruit. I say we meet them.
You're right, Sean. Inquisitors are furries.
Huh.
He
with my own
wasn't even in
lore.
that
Wait a
colony. He
minute.
figured it out.
I use a fate point. Do I know that?
No.
No.
You
Damn
couldn't
it.
begin to
Oh,
get a roll that would show
I
you
don't
that.
understand that.
Okay. So you'll say, do those names mean anything to you? And I will say,
Mhm.
no, but
As she
Go ahead.
says so, you both register that knowledge in your head with a mutual understanding.
yeah. Say no, but the title carries a certain weight.
She'll say, yes, and they talked about a big mission. They mentioned the hangman. They just said, what do you think they did? It has to be bad. I don't know who they are. I don't know if it's about us. I don't ordinarily have premonitions.
What else did they say? Everything, anything.
She'll say, you had mentioned that they were on the way to Sakalia. I don't remember if that was through dialogue, but we seemed to
Yeah.
understand that in the vision.
She literally said that, yeah.
Oh, she said, okay.
Yeah.
She'll say, they had mentioned coming to Sakalia.
Motz's face is going to get very, very. It's going to pull like the corner of his face, his edge of his face down, and he will look at her and say, then we cannot return to it. We have to journey south. We will collect whatever stone we need, and we head back. But we cannot stay here for much longer. This expedites things. Do we have what we need?
She'll say, yeah, we just need to pay. Moats, do you think they're after us?
Yes. They have
Why?
enough reason to. He'll just kind of shake his head and say, there are so many reasons. And none of them that they'll explain to us. It is important that they do not get the chance to even try. Hey, we need to leave.
She'll hurry over to whatever fucking dirty clothed individual is running this little.
Hey, I'm Boyman.
Why I'm suddenly fucking classist. She'll walk over to the disgusting cashier.
Yeah, I see you got a couple items here. Put your coin in my gubby maw.
Oh,
Just throw my mouth.
Arya, do as he says.
Toss the
I'm
rings
gonna
into
hold
my
up the
grubby
stock.
paws, and I'll put it in my cash register here. And he pockets it.
It's part of my culture. You can't offend me.
Jesus.
Opens his gums.
She'll give him like too much and not wait for the change before like swooping back to grab Moats' arm
Yeah.
and begin hurrying back to the group.
The shopkeep of a thrift store will say nothing about the overpaying and immediately
Yeah.
pocket it.
Sounds good. And then, yeah, we'll find our way to the cart.
Okay.
And whenever we're there, we're going to have a talk as we walk.
All right, yeah, you hop in and you continue your way across the heart of Akur, and on the way you see, people grow more sparse when you're away from the main port, but hither and thither you can see Aeon Newman dressed mercenaries en route around amongst their own business.
One thing I want to ask is with the roll of 6, could we at least have found a large blanket? If Canara will have any interest in that.
Yeah,
It's like
I
the
imagine
least
you
I
can find
could
a large
do.
blanket at a textile. A
That's what I'm
poncho.
thinking. It smells like weed, but
Oh man, it's
Little
not a
Wade.
cloak. It's got to be a weed blanket.
Oh, dude, dude, you can have my weed blanket, dude.
Seaweed. Yeah, I will at least have that. But sorry, continue.
Well, I don't know. I said you guys are on transit. It's gonna take you a little over a day's time to get through a cour with rest and all. So, you wait. Break time. It's time for
Yeah,
a break. I
that
shouldn't
sounds
get ahead
good.
of myself.
I
Break
like
it up.